I'm Amy Cruz. I'm a mindset coach and motivational speaker. And I work with busy and stressed parents to help them to reclaim their sense of self by putting themselves first instead of juggling themselves around everything else. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always more to be done. Chores, activities, errands, we all get it. But too often I see parents putting themselves down the bottom of the list. And let's be honest, mums are the best at doing this. I know I was for myself. So I'm on a mission to sprinkle a bit of positivity and a bit of sparkle and really inject that sense of self-worth and self-care back into our lives so that we can create an even better lives for ourselves and our families. And why is that important? Because I'm a mum too. I'm a mum to a little boy who's a gorgeous little bundle of energy and excitement. I've been a mum for around 5.5 years. My little boy will be 6 this year, and I really can't believe where that time has gone. It's absolutely just been crazy fast. And everyone tells you that those times they whiz by, but until you're in it, you don't really realise that they're all telling the truth. A typical day for me tends to start around between 6 and 7 in the morning, usually with me being woken up by a microscope being shoved in my face. Yes, I did say microscope. I've got a budding scientist on my hands. Or perhaps a superhero that appears at my bedside. Whatever it is, he wakes up absolutely energized and ready for action. So our mornings are usually pretty busy before school that involve some kind of creative activity, games. I can often be found crawling around on my hands and knees, being, ridden like a horse, wearing any kind of crazy stuff. So it's varied and fun. But you know what? In my life, we have so much fun. We have joy and we have laughter. And that is one of my that's one of my important things in life, that we create this environment where life is fun. Because as a parent, as a mum, it's all consuming. Like trying to put yourself first, to read a book, even have a hot cup of tea. My goal this year was to actually sit down and once a day have a hot cuppa all to myself, all in one go, without it being reheated about 1,000,000 times. There's always more to do, isn't there? And so I think that when I'm in my life, I try and create fun. I try and create laughter. We try and create a lightness and energy here that feels free and feels contented, because that's how we can all be our best in life. After school, the craziness resumes. So it's all a bit mad and we do reading and homework and stuff like that. And in that bit in between, my life can be pretty varied. So I could be recording a podcast, I could be coaching a client, I could be recording a video for one of my classes, or I could be supporting a team to focus on their emotional well-being. I'm really, really blessed to have a real variety of work in my life. But sometimes what I really need is just to sit down with that magazine, put my feet up, even for 5 or 10 minutes, to lose the guilt and to feel good about actually making time for myself. For me, the most rewarding thing about being a mama panda is the sense that I'm creating with my husband, who's also incredible, an incredible human being. He is life. He's incredible. And I think seeing the impact that we make every single day on this other person's life is such a privilege. It's such an incredible opportunity to hear how things we say, the way we are, and see how that plays out and manifests in his life and the way that he interacts with his friends and other family, and even just life going about the house, the phrases he used, the comical stuff he comes out with. I just think it's been incredible. But actually early on in his life, we had a really challenging start. It was difficult. And I made that decision for that first year, 16 months of his life. I was just going to focus on being the best mum I could be. And that was my mission at that time. And I let go of all the other pressure and expectation and just gave myself to being a mum, which was incredible. And when it came to kind of putting him into nursery and that kind of stuff, I needed to go back to work. I went back to work and he went into nursery full time. And it was a challenge. It was a hard thing to get our head around. But you know what? It was an incredible opportunity to see him grow and thrive in that kind of environment and know that we were, in effect, paying for him to have an incredible education. And with that meaning that we can spend more time with him when he was a bit older. So I feel so blessed that we were able to financially afford the private education he had for the first few years of his life, but also that we were able to work with that and build on his incredible strengths and skills. So for me, the first few years of being a mum has been an incredible experience. It has been fun. It's been challenging. I've learned a lot about myself. Some things I probably didn't want to learn, if I'm honest. But, you know, we all have those blind spots. And I think being a parent really shows those up. I think the most challenging thing for me has been juggling differences of opinions in the parenting circle. So we all have different things going on. We all have different values and different beliefs. And even between me and my husband, we have different styles about how we love to parent best. And why wouldn't we, right? We were both parented by different people. So these things, they come up for us time and time again. And I think the most challenging thing for me is to stay true to the way that I want to bring my son up, but also to really validate how other people want to interact with him, friends, family, you know, immediate relatives, whatever that is, to actually really give him the best possible start in life. Nobody really trains you to be a parent. There are books and there are courses. Everyone focuses on the pregnancy and the sort of birthing experience. But when it comes to being a mum and being a working mum and juggling everything else, whether you have your own business, whether you volunteer, whether you work for somebody else, whether you are there keeping the homes, you know, together, nobody prepares you for what that's like with a kid. And it is tough. It is challenging. And you have to be always on. I know for me, there are some days where I get woken up, you know, not an unreasonable time in the morning, you know, between 6 and 7, but I do not want to get out of bed. I am not ready for the energy that kid throws at me. And it's really interesting because you just have to kind of get yourself going. You have to push on through and you have to muster up that connection to be able to go through. Nobody prepares you for that. Nobody prepares you for the identity crisis that you experience when you suddenly rock up with this baby in your arms. So I think there are some real big challenges, but there are some incredible rewards with it. If you're about to become a mama panda, I've got one piece of guidance for you. It's okay to ask for help and it's okay to receive it. Oh my gosh, I was terrible at letting people in. And I was very much like, I can do this. We've got this. We don't need anyone's help. And actually, the best thing that I did for myself was to relinquish that, was to say to myself, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for someone to bring me a meal, to hoover my house while I sleep for an hour, to do those things, or even just to hold the baby, to give me that space to go and make myself a cup, or to go to the toilet in peace and quiet, you know, whatever that might be. It's really okay to ask for help. And it's the more you ask for help, the more resilient you will feel. Because you're not trying to tackle everything on your own. You're not trying to juggle, to hold everything together. So the biggest bit of whatever So if I can inspire you in any way at all, it would be to say yes. When people say, can I bring you some tea? Can I make you a meal? Can I come and visit? Yes, but bring me a meal. Bring some cake. But yes, while you're here, can you run the Hoover round? And the people that love and care for you will, of course, absolutely step in and do that for you. And then give yourself that gift of being with you and taking those little moments of self-care that you will probably neglect, you'll probably forget about, but that mean so much. I love this t-shirt, strong as a mother. What does that mean? Well, as a mum, you have to juggle so many aspects in life. You're holding the strings, those balloons that want to rush up to the sky. And if you let go of one, you'll find yourself jumping up to catch it. And I think being a mum for me has been the single biggest builder of my inner strength and resilience. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had some tough times. I've had some emotional times. It's not easy. But if you're a mother, it's a different kind of strength. It's a different kind of resilience. It's a different kind of outlook on life. Because not only are you looking after you, you're looking after everything in your world around you. And if you can do that, then you can definitely be strong as a mother.